Welcome back, welcome back. And this is pure torture. Torture. The Mets, they are torturing us. Torturing Met fans. I cannot believe. It gets worse and worse and worse. And today, I took a deep dive into this game. I took detailed notes. There is a lot to go over. This team is messed up, and this is a deep problem. This is deeply rooted. Today we're going to talk about a couple huge topics, one being Justin Verlander. I've observed a couple really bothersome things in this game about Justin Verlander. Number two, we're going to talk about Jeff McNeil. We're going to talk about Jeff McNeil. Oh, my God. Number three, we're going to talk about the bullpen. And number four, we're going to talk about Buck Showalter and his comments. I cannot believe the comments that this man is making. He's denying things that the players are saying are true, so he's making some controversial comments. But first, if you could take a second, if you could like, subscribe, whether you're a Met fan, you're a Braves fan, you're a Phillies fan, you're a Major League Baseball fan, like, subscribe. I appreciate you being here nonetheless. I'm here to entertain and inform you. Unfortunately for us Met fans, this is not the happiest moments, but it is what it is. We hope to compete soon, hopefully. I'm saying my projection is the beginning of next year if we do this right. If we do this right, I have my doubts. Okay. All right, so we're going to get into Justin Verlander. And Justin Verlander, on the broadcast, they were saying he had a good, solid 5 innings. He had 100 pitches. He kept the Mets in this game. All right. If you notice something about Justin Verlander, the guy, one of his biggest problems is, look at him. He is a 40-year-old man who is out of shape. Out of shape. Take a look at Justin Verlander. I know Met fans, you are noticing this. The man is a 40-year-old man who is out of shape. Okay, we paid this guy $43 freaking million a year, and the guy cannot even be in shape. He's gassed. He's throwing 26 pitches in the first inning. He could barely get through it. He threw another, I believe, 23 pitches in the second inning. The guy is gassed. Okay, luckily Milwaukee doesn't have a great lineup, so he was able to get through it without being scathed. But the guy, we just paid him a boatload of money, and he can't even take care of his body. That's number one. Also, he's having a lot of trouble with this damn pitch clock. This pitch clock is rushing the heck out of him, and he can't even catch his breath. It's problem after problem. During the broadcast, I'm sure Met fans heard that righties are smacking around his curveball, and he's having a lot of trouble with that. But that's not even the issue. The guy's not in freaking shape. Okay. Now, if you noticed, going into the top of the third inning, Justin Verlander came out to the mound and he was furious. He was yelling at the umpire and he was stating that he didn't have enough time to throw his warm-up pitches. Justin Verlander wasn't frustrated at the umpire. It might have appeared that way, but he was frustrating at his Met teammates. Now he was laboring these first 2 innings, throwing a hell of a lot of pitches, and the Mets, the batters, were going out there swinging at 7 pitches in the bottom of the second inning. Verlander just threw almost 30 pitches. His team goes out in the bottom of the second inning and swings at 7 pitches. So Verlander barely gets to sit down. You know how probably frustrated he was? He doesn't even get a chance to relax and recover. And I just said the guy's not in good shape. So it's not like, he's a fitness guru. He can get right back out there. That is really bothersome. And I'm telling you this right now. Good team recognize that your pitcher is laboring and he just threw a lot of pitches. You take pitches in the batting box. You try to foul pitches off. You try to work the count. You try to make sure your pitcher gets time to relax and recover. But the Mets, they don't do that right. It's the little things that add up. Brett Beatty making an error in the top of the second inning. That forced Verlander to throw 7 more pitches. So these are things that are adding up throughout the course of the game. Okay. We're gonna progress, and like I said, I took detailed notes this game. McNeil. We're gonna go on to Jeff McNeil. Jeff McNeil was 0 for 15 going into this game, and McNeil is looking terrible. This guy takes these golf swings, he pops up weak fly ball, then he goes out and he pouts in the dugout and he gets frustrated. Now this guy is a supposed batting champion, and he's acting like a frustrated little leaguer. I don't get it. And then you got Buck in the dugout. You're supposed to be a guy who can mediate this situation, get inside the guy's head, or at least coach him. Have the guys coach him when you say, relax, Jeff, it's one at bat. Calm the heck down. Because one at bat and you add on these all at bats, they're going to add up. And I just don't get how this guy freaks out after every single at bat. He's supposed to be a good hitter. He just won the batting title last year, and he just looks terrible. Terrible. You can't rely on him. I don't know if he's got to quit it with the golf, because it looks like he's getting underneath everything. He's getting in front of everything. He's over anxious. His swing looks so out of sync. Out of sync. Jeff McNeil is a huge issue on this team. And you got Verlander who's pouting. You got McNeil who's always pouting. There's such negativity on that bench. There is such negativity in the clubhouse. You can't win with that. You can't win when guys are making mental mistakes and when there's that type of energy on the field. And I give Lindor credit. Lindor, he made such a great defensive gem, one of the best defensive gems in the second inning to save a hit. It would have been a hit up the middle, and the guy basically made a web gem. And he had a sac fly in the game, and late in the game he ripped the ball down the right field line. So I got to give Lindor credit. We've been on him. He did everything he possibly can to keep these guys in it, to put his head up. But, guys like McNeil and Verlander, they're not doing much to keep this team together. The chemistry is all over the place. The chemistry is horrible on this team. Okay, now let's get into the bullpen. Drew Smith comes in the 6th inning, and this is the first game that he's returned since his sticky substance ban. Right? So we're winning 2-0. We're winning 1-0. Verlander just pitched his heart out. He did as best as he possibly could. And he got through 5 whole innings. 5 whole innings. Wow. $43 million for 5 whole innings. Oh, boy. So exciting. Okay, so Drew Smith comes in, and he throws a fastball right down the middle with a man on base. And I forgot the gentleman's name on Milwaukee Brewers, but the guy takes it all over the center field fence for a bomb. And when they show the replay, it was a fastball right down the middle. Of course, right down the middle. Not outside, not high, not below the zone. Right down the middle. Hit it. This is you're going up against a major league hitter. Of course he's going to be able to hit that ball. So it's ridiculous. I mean, this game, the pitching did decent, and we can't hit. We can't hit for nothing. You just really can't make it up. Anytime there's an opportunity to lose, we seize that opportunity. We seize it. So and this is getting really, really tough. Let's continue to move on. And we're gonna move on to Buck's reaction. And I was listening to the post-game show, and they asked Buck. They said, "Hey, Buck," they were referring to yesterday's game. Would you think things differently with regards to your bullpen? In terms of bringing in Ottavino, and he emphatically goes, "No, they weren't available. They weren't available." And I believe Anthony DeComo asked this question, and the reason why he asked this question was because he actually spoke to Adam Ottavino, and Adam Ottavino said, "I was available in Philly. Buck could have brought me in." So there is some sort of huge disconnect. And even if he was available, and Buck just chose not to use him. For Adam Ottavino to actually say that I was available and go against Buck's whatever Buck wanted him to do, Buck's statement. I mean, that is just big right there. Like, you don't go against the manager. You're one unit. You're one team. You stick together. You don't play in the media. You don't say, hey, this is what happened, and then Buck saying, no, this is what happened. There's just so much disconnect with this team. It's just hard to describe it because we were supposed to be a really good team, and Buck was just won Manager of the Year. We were so proud to have a guy like that at our helm. Like last year, it just seemed like he was 2 steps ahead of every other manager. This year, it's like I'm 10 steps behind. Like, I don't know what's going on in Buck's life. If he just finally started feeling like 70 years old, I just don't get it. You see him in the press conference. He's looking old. He's looking tired. He's got bags under his eyes. I mean, like, Buck didn't look like this last year. He really didn't. You know, it looked like a breath of fresh air last year. Buck was happy to be here. It was, like, very exciting for him. He was passionate during the game. The camera would pan on him. He'd have that energy. If something would go wrong, you'd see Buck angry. Now you pan the camera at Buck, and it's just like a statue. He's just looking there like he can't wait till the game's over. He can't wait to go to sleep for bedtime tonight. So it's just very, very frustrating. And like I said, as Met fans, we are being tortured right now. There's no end in sight right now. The only good thing that we can kind of hang our heads on right now, hang our hats on, is that it should be over soon. We should be trading away all our veterans. We should be trading them away for assets, for prospects. That should be the plan right now. So I'm just hoping we're going to go in that direction sooner rather than later. And we should start seeing those results once those trades go through. I mean, like I've been saying, I'm not enthusiastic about Billy Epler making these big decisions about acquiring these players. But if Steve Cohen's going to decide to eat large portions of all these contracts, at least we're going to be getting better players just because of that reason alone. So, I mean, it is what it is. If you could like and if you can subscribe, if you're frustrated right now, please like. If you like hearing like this content, subscribe. You know, it just takes a lot out of you because, you know, you want the team to do well and you want to see different results, and you don't want to keep saying the same thing. But, you know, this team is just very, very frustrating. It's just a very frustrating thing to see. And, you know, I know every single organization, every team in Major League Baseball throughout their history has been through like slumps and, you know, bad seasons. So I'm pretty sure every fan out there has felt this, has been through this, because no team has been perfect every year. No team has made the playoffs every year. So, you know, I understand that. And I understand you can't win every year, but we just had such high expectations. You know, we spent so much money, and, you know, Steve Cohen making these proclamations that we were going to win in 3 to 5 years. Probably shouldn't have done that. You know, had the fans hoping and thinking that, yeah, we're going to win in 3 to 5 years, when in baseball it's a lot harder than that. You have to develop a franchise. You have to build a foundation. And, you know, I've been saying this. When I was younger back in the day, I would always be envious of the Yankees. I'm like, they do it right. You know, they were winning a lot of championships back then. Now I look at the landscape of Major League Baseball, and I have to say, and I know they're in our division, but the Braves are an organization that has been doing it right. They really have, and we got to give credit where credit is due. You know, I love to beat them. I love to, you know, competitively, you know, be in a series with them. You know, be in a divisional race, but it's not even close. Not even close. We're 16 games out. We're 8 games under 500, and we're nowhere close. I mean, we're not even in the same conversation. We're not even in conversation for last place in for the bottom teams in the league. So, good job to the teams who are at the top, who stay at the top of the league year after year. It's not easy. You can't just do it with money. Steve Cohen and the Mets this season have been a great example at that. You can't just throw money at a problem. Those are just Band-Aids. You have to be able to build things the right way. And that takes time. That takes good scouting. That takes, good coaching, having a good, solid organization, a structure in place. And, when Steve Cohen took over the Mets, there was a lot of problems. And, it wasn't just about money. It wasn't, you can't just... And I know Steve Cohen was looking for all the right people, but he was new to baseball. And the good thing about it was he had Sandy Alderson, and Sandy Alderson was actually a good, steady hand. We don't have Sandy Alderson in our organization anymore. I believe he left in January, and that steady hand is no longer there. We have a void to fill. We have to fill that void in, and I think it was really underrated having Sandy Alderson there. I think he did a lot more in our organization than we give him credit for. It's just so apparent. It feels like there's no parent in the room. It feels like everybody's like, what do you think we're going to do on Monday? What's our plan? And then on Tuesday, there's a completely different plan. And then on Wednesday, the plan changes again. I mean, you have to have a plan and execute that plan. And you have to have conviction in that plan. And before you formulate that plan, you have to have all these experts putting together that plan. And the pieces of the puzzle aren't there. So we're going to end it right there. There's just a lot of frustration going on around right now. And there's very limited answers. So we're going to be looking for those answers. So stay tuned. Subscribe. Like. Because there's just a lot of stuff going on right now. A lot of stuff. We're going to be covering everything because that's what we do. And we have to. I mean, like I said, I'm not... Even though I'm frustrated with the Mets, I'm always going to follow them. I'm always going to follow them. It's what I love to do. It's just that now this is just a very rough time. It's a very rough time, and it is what it is. All right, so like and subscribe. Let's go Mets. Can't get any worse, but probably will.